There is a distinct difference, although it is hard for me to say exactly what that difference is and how to identify it, between being proposed with an idea that is challenging good beliefs and in thought and leads you down a slippery slope to something bad, and where something is challenging a misplaced worldview that has served you for a long time and is leading you to a worldview that is good. So, in short, it is difficult, yet essential, to identify the difference between a lie that is tempting to believe and a truth that is challenging a lie that you already believe. And I've been going through that a little bit recently with just some ideas that I've always sort of held to as being highly important or true, and ways in which they have been challenged, not necessarily proven untrue, but sometimes the hardest thing and the thing that can throw us the most off is believing the right things but putting them in sort of the wrong priority. And for me, often, what I've sort of been challenged in recently is the belief that I'm capable of accomplishing the things that I set my mind to. So this is as simple as this YouTube channel, making videos or trying to achieve something particular. It's not necessarily that I think I'll achieve everything that I want to do, but that if I really set it as a priority, I'm able to do it, and it isn't just the select few or the genetically blessed that are able to achieve great things, that it's possible for everybody, and we can all do it if that's what we want to do and sacrifice enough to get there. Now, that is still sort of true, but for me, it gets tied up in like my belief in God and sort of understanding this difference between what I say He wants me to do and then the reality of the situation in our relationship, me and God, and what I have turned into what I'll call, I guess, the main thing. And the main thing sometimes becomes me reaching this thing that I was doing with God, or accomplishing something big or great, or something that I think is like a purpose that God has for me, or a design that I have for my life, and feels very much like me and becomes very important. And then to let that thing go feels like letting go of myself, and that's not fun. So it feels like letting go of all my dreams, and then it's like, why am I even existing on Earth if I am not gonna go after or accomplish any of these things? And that points to a misidentified priority, not misidentified, but like misprioritized priority, in which I think that my value is derived from the things that I do and what I can achieve, what I can offer. And this desire to basically just be helpful, like I want to help out. And that is good, but when it feels like all I have as a complete person is what I have to offer to help, whether that would be with my wife, and it just feels like everything I exist for and have to offer is what I help, and so my objective often gets diverted into always being as helpful as possible. And that's not quite right, although it's kind of sounds good. And then with God, always feeling like I need to be as helpful as possible, and not being okay with sometimes things just being the way they are, or receiving help, or just existing and trusting in a bigger picture that I'm not able to plan out or be helpful in ways that I see. So that's it. Today, I'm starting on doing stuff a little later than I wanted, as usual, and that is tied to my need to be productive and helpful and as efficient as possible and do everything I can do to make the most of my life, which isn't really right. So to take a deep breath and relax and see that it's all okay and that God in His grace has room for my distractions. And there's always a way forward. There's always a way forward with God to something better. Blessings to you. Hope you have a good day. That's all.